Get ready for this one. Fire up your smokers, grab a slab of meat, whether it's beef, lamb, venison, whatever. We're making the Southwest Smoked Barbecue Hot Pocket Flavor Bomb. And it all starts with meat. I mean, that should be obvious. This happens to be a venison shoulder. Now, I know that not everybody has access to a venison shoulder, and that's fine. You could substitute with a chuck roast, a brisket, a pork shoulder, a pork butt, whatever you want to use, you do you. It's still going to be amazing. And the first thing we want to do is we want to pat this kid dry. Make sure you get both sides. Use some paper towels. You don't have to rub it or anything. Just pat it dry. This is going to help develop that nice bark that we want. Now, if you're not using venison, this part's optional, but not really because we want flavor. But since this is venison and a very lean cut, I want to inject it with some stuff. So we're going to start off with some beer. Then we're going to add some Graza Sizzle to this. Then we're going to add the juice of 1 lime. Now, you want to roll it out. You want to break up those fibers. You get the most juice out of it that way. Cut it in half, and then just squeeze it on in there. And if you got a nice juicy lime, maybe just half a lime would do, but this one was not very juicy, so we're going with the whole thing. Then we'll tappity-tap about a tablespoon of garlic powder in there. A little hit of onion powder, about a half teaspoon or so of some toasted cumin seeds ground, and then we'll itty-bitty whisk that until homogeneous. Then you just grab your meat injector with a nice thick opening on the end so nothing gets clogged, suck up some of that liquid, and inject into various spots of your venison shoulder. Again, if it's not venison, if it's chuck roast, pork shoulder, whatever, you can skip this step, but why would you? This is just going to add more flavor. But on the venison, we need it. That olive oil is going to add the fat inside that we need to make sure this thing doesn't dry out on the smoker. And speaking of fat, we need a binder on this thing. Now, again, I'm going with the Graza Sizzle. You can use whatever you want. You can use olive oil, avocado oil. You can use lard. You can use tallow. You can use duck fat. You can even use mayonnaise or butter. As long as you coat this thing evenly with fat, it's going to help develop a bark, and it's going to help our seasoning stick. And onto the seasoning, I'm going to start off with a light layer of Cuso's Gravel. It's a salt, pepper, garlic, and a Hatch green chili blend. It's going to be awesome on this. And after a light dusting of Gravel, we're going to go generously with Cuso's Dirt. Beautiful all-purpose seasoning. Great flavors in this, charcoal infused. This really creates a great bark. Check my link in the description below to save on Cuso's products. Now give that chunk of meat a good couple of attaboy slaps to let it know it's doing a great job. Flip it on over and repeat the same process. A light dusting of the gravel, and then go generous with the dirt. This is a big, thick chunk of meat. I mean, it can handle the seasoning, so be generous with it. You know, don't skimp out on this. This is important. And definitely don't forget about those edges. You don't want to leave anything bare. Make sure this thing is evenly coated all the way around. You're going to thank me later. And once you're satisfied that you've done a good job and this beautiful piece of meat is perfectly seasoned all the way around, let's get it to the smoker. I've got my offset running at about 275 Fahrenheit. We don't want to go too much lower than that because this is venison. We don't want to dry it out. I'm using hickory, pecan, and oak wood. We put the kid right on, and we're going to let it sit there for the next 2 to 3 hours. And I've got 2 drip pans underneath the grates, one to catch whatever juices fall out, and the other I'm going to fill with the rest of that beer. That's going to help keep some moisture in there, maybe add a little flavor, you never know. And about an hour and a half in, we're just going to check on things. Oh yeah, that bark is looking beautiful. Definitely does not look like it's drying out, so we're doing good. Keep doing what you're doing. And after about 2.5 hours, we're going to braise this thing. We're going to start off with some Cuso's mud sauce. This pairs beautifully with the dirt seasoning. We're going to put about a half a bottle into that tray. And for lean meats like venison, bison, or elk, you want to add some more fat, we're going to do that in the form of some Graza Sizzle. If you've got beef or pork, you can skip this step. They've got enough fat drippings that'll end up in the tray. And for our flavor fusion, Cuso's Southwest Sand. A couple tablespoons of this going to play really nicely with those classic barbecue flavors. I don't always use beer in my braising liquids, but when I do, I use Dos Equis. Throw in a couple pats of butter because mo butter, mo better, mo fat, mo flavor. And this thing is ready to accept our meat. Oh. Yeah, let's itty-bitty whisk this and not say anything about that anymore. And after 3 hours, it's time to transfer this meat to our braising liquid. And look what we got here. I mean, this thing already is looking beautiful. 2 hours of braising, it's going to be perfect. And once your meat is in the tray, we'll top it with that remaining half bottle of Cuso's mud sauce. And if your aluminum tray comes with a lid like mine does, link in the description below to get them on my Amazon store, cover that kid up. Otherwise, use aluminum foil. Just make sure you cut a couple vent holes. Then this kid goes back to the smoker, again keeping it around 275 Fahrenheit. It'll live there for the next 1.5 to 2 hours. To add flavor to our filling, I've got 1 sweet onion and some garlic. We'll cut that onion in half lengthwise, change angles for the camera, and cut it into thin slices. Keep things interesting by changing camera angles again and break those up into individual slices. Break your garlic head up into cloves and have fun. And heat your cast iron pan up over your open fire. Then we'll add a pat of butter, along with some Graza Sizzle. And guess what? Got a link in the description below to save money on Graza. And as that butter melts, we'll swirl it around to coat evenly, and then add our onions to let them start to caramelize over the next 20 to 30 minutes. After about 10 minutes, we'll add a can of fire-roasted diced green chilies. Give that a little stir to combine. And yes, it's getting dark out. We'll hit that with a good shake or two of Cuso's Southwest sand, along with another gratuitous mix. Let that cook for another 5 minutes or so, and then create a landing spot for our garlic. Totally up to you how much you want to use, but I'm going with 3 big cloves in here. And as always, I like to scrape off the excess, make sure I get all of it in there, nothing goes to waste. We're going to let this cook for about 30 to 40 seconds till it becomes really fragrant, and then we'll use our tongs to mix it in with everything else. And to make sure that garlic doesn't burn, we'll hit it with about 1/4 cup of beer, give it another gratuitous mix, let it simmer for the next 5 to 10 minutes till most of that liquid has been evaporated. And a few minutes later, we're there. Take these kids off, set them aside, let them cool. Let's look at our venison. You can see there's a lot of steam coming out of this thing, so very carefully remove that lid away from your face, lift it up, and let's see what we got. Oh, look at it. It's beautiful. And you can see just how tender this thing is. A little bit of a squeeze and it starts to fall apart. And that's exactly what we want to do now, is we want to shred this thing up, pull it apart as much as you can. You can do the same thing again with a chuck roast or a pork butt or a pork shoulder or even a brisket when it's cooked to this point. Just shred that meat, baby. That braising liquid has done its job not only with flavor, but to keep it moist, to keep it just succulent and beautiful. I gotta get a taste of this right now. But before we stuff it, we gotta try it, right? Take a look at that. Look at that smoke ring. Oh, cheers. Don't eat boring food. Wow. And at long last, it is time to build this thing. I've floured my workstation. I've got a sheet of puff pastry here. I'm flouring my spouse basher. We're gonna roll this kid out. Not really thin, we just want to increase the size by maybe 30%. We still want it thick enough to hold all this filling. This will be the bottom layer, so we'll transfer it to a sheet tray lined with parchment paper. Get to work on rolling out the other piece of puff pastry. When you're satisfied with your rolling skills and they're about the same size, bring the other one on over. It's time to build this thing, finally. And we start by adding a generous portion of our shredded meat. Make sure you leave about 1 inch, 1.5 inches all the way around so that we can seal the edges. But build it tall. Don't be shy about it. And who remembers our caramelized onion, pepper, garlic business that we cooked over an open fire? How could you forget that? It smells amazing. We're going to add a layer of this on top of that beautiful shredded meat. And you can't have a sexy cheese pull without cheese, right? Shredded Chihuahua cheese, Mexican melting cheese. Use whatever you want, but to me, this is the perfect cheese for this. It melts so beautifully, fits the flavor profile with the Southwest sand. Just lay it on thick because, you know, who doesn't love cheese, right? And once you're satisfied, move that kid over very gently. Let's get our top layer and let's lay it on there and make sure you lay it on the right way. It's got to match, right? And I know it's been a long day, but this is very important. Do a good job here. Make sure that the edges line up. Make sure that there's no air pockets. Try and get it as even as possible. We're going to crimp these edges together with a fork, but you really want these edges to be, you know, as even as you possibly can. Let's make this thing look pretty. We put a lot of work into this. And now, of course, comes that tedious task of crimping the edges with a fork. It's a tedious task, but it's an important step. Notice that as I'm crimping the edges, I'm kind of pulling the fork toward me. That's really going to help to seal these edges the way that we want them sealed. This is not just to make it look pretty, but it really does help seal everything so we don't have any filling spilling out. So take your time, do a good job, This is an important step. We're almost there. And when you're satisfied with your crimping skills, it's time for the all-important egg wash. This is 1 beaten egg with about a tablespoon of water. We're going to brush it on there with a pastry brush, and don't leave any part of this surface unbrushed. Get that egg wash all over. This helps to give you that beautiful golden brown, delicious, crispy crust that's going to make this thing awesome. And now that the painting is done, it's the final touch, a light sprinkling of Cuso's gravel, and for even more flavor and a pop of color to make it look pretty, some Cuso's Southwest sand to finish it off. This is just going to take it over the top. And then carefully, don't fuck this up, transfer that parchment paper over to a sheet pan, and this kid is ready to go into the oven. Just take a look at it, admire it, because the next time you see this beauty, it's going to be golden brown, flaky, and delicious. My oven is preheated to a balmy 425 Fahrenheit. That will be this kid's home for the next 20 to 25 minutes, saying a prayer that everything goes well after all this hard work. 23 minutes later. Oh, look at it. Look at that. Do you see what we've done here today? It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It takes my giant breakfast sandwich and says, yes, it's a smoke bomb, but I mean, honestly, it's a giant freaking hot pocket. Oh my God. Let's get it off this tray. Careful. 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 Okay, that's not working. Let's try from this side. Careful. Careful. Oh, look it. Let's slide you right out of here and onto the cutting board. Oh, my goodness. Well, folks, I think we've done some fine work here today. Thank you for watching. Hope you will subscribe. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a message, and don't eat boring food. Okay, bye-bye. Take care now. See ya. That's it. I'm kidding. I'm going to let it rest, and we're going to cut into this bad boy. Listen how crisp. Oh, it's so beautiful. Do I go this way or do I go this way? Audience, let me, never mind, because by the time you respond, I'm not going to know what you said. So, this way or this way? I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go long ways so that way I can cut squares. Because if I cut this way, yeah, I can't really cut. Okay, so, oh my God, listen. It's so crispy. Oh. Oh my God, here it comes. You ready? Moment of truth. Oh, I mean, here we go. Oh my God. Look at it. It's hot. It's freaking hot is what it is. But look at it. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. It's look at what we've done here today. We should be proud of what we've done here today. This is just, and I'm literally salivating. So as hot as it is, cheers. Don't eat boring food. Oh my God. But wait, there's more. 2 ingredients for the perfect sauce. We start out with the last of my Kewpie. And to that we'll add an equal amount of Kuso's lava sauce. Itty bitty whisk to combine. And that's perfect as it is, but given the context of this dish, a little bit of Southwest sand and another itty bitty whisk just takes it over the edge. So now we gotta try it with the sauce. And I mean, you know, hey, if you get nothing else out of this video, make the sauce. 2 ingredients, a little Southwest sand, a 3rd ingredient. You're gonna want it on everything. Sandwiches, French fries, crab dip, whatever you want. But on this, a little dip. Oh, and that's it right there. Cheers. Don't eat boring food. Subscribe for more. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.